All right. Just setting up the stream. Hmm. All right, let's get on with it. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, actually. So, uh, what we are trying to do right now is create a city context using a free plugin called Blosm, Blosm. I don't know what the full form stands for, but we will see how to download it, how to install it, and how to run it on a software called Blender. Right now, I'm using Blender 4.3 version. You can use whatever. I think 4.4 is out now, and you can use that. So, to download Blosm, you just have to type Blosm Blossom add-on, and you have to go to the GitHub page. Okay, this is Blossom for Blender. Once you download Blossom for Blender, just go to the for Blender 2.79, which is latest. 2.79 is not the Blender version, but the Blossom plugin version. So let us download Blossom and save as. Let's put it on the desktop, or I've got a folder where I'm saving all my learning series files. So I will put up or make a link at the bottom where you can download all these assets. So we'll just copy this and put it in the assets library of the this thing as well. Edit, and this is Blossom save. Right. So now that you have the link of the where I'm downloading Blossom as well. So now let's open Blender, and within Blender we need to first install Blossom. So let's check out what the installation progress is all about. So press A, and now I will switch on all the commands for. You can have a look at the bottom here to see all the commands. Press A, you can select all, and you delete. Okay, and then we will first go to edit preferences, and in the preferences we will go and install from disk, and then we download it to our learning series Blossom Slide Context. We will take the zip file and install it. Once it comes to a Blender OSM, you click on Blender OSM, and you switch it on. You switch it on, and once it is installed, you go to the settings of Blossom. Okay, these are the preferences that will open. You will go to we go to the learning series. We will add a file folder here saying context development. Go inside and accept. You'll have to give it a folder for where it will download the files and all. You can have these access tokens if you have ArcGIS. If you pay for it, you can have the GIS and get the location for ArcGIS, Mapbox access token, and Google 3D title keys as well. For you to download the resources of the map from the respective sites. But I will show you a free method how you can download the map from Google and their servers with the terrain and the context related to the terrain. Okay, so let's get on to that. Just that the VK maps is what I use because it says 384 GB RAM. Okay, so keeping that in mind. The next thing we need to do is there is a process of how you should run Blosm. The process is quite simple. This is a tab. Basically, your Blosm tab is going to be in this area. If you press N for new, N for neo, N for new, it'll open up on the side. So once you press N, and you will be able to see all the options of the Blosm command. Okay. So being said that, let's go and get into what we need for Blosm to run. What you need to do is in the Blosm command, there is a base version and a premium version. If you go to the premium version, you can download all this context, and give it materials, textures, and everything. But we are not going to go for that. We're going to go for the free version, which is the base version. So when we click on that, it comes. You can also download it this way. Okay, you will say I want this, whitelist it, and you will download it this way as well, where you can type in fair price and say 0 and say I want it. It will ask you for your email ID, and it will download it for you. It's the same thing that I just did, which is your 2.9 version, which is the 2.79 version. Or actually, let's just do it this way. I'll go for this thing. I'll place 0. I say I want this. I'll say my this thing, and I'll say get, and it'll send me a link of the it'll send me a link into my email address. So let's just quickly go to my mail and take it and download it from the link. And in the updates, do we have any? Okay, did not send the email because I didn't give a tip. All right, so it says download 2.714. I say download, save as. I'll save it in the same folder. There is this Blosm OSM and this Blossom 2.714. I would like to download and get the latest version of Blosm, so let's download that and then do the same thing. Edit, preferences, go to add-ons, and in the add-ons we have install from disk, Blossom 2.74, install from disk. We have Blosm open. We will obviously add a folder which is e-learning series, Blosm site context, etc. Right? I know. All right. Once that is installed, we'll just restart Blender so that the Blosm is installed. Press A to select everything. Press delete. Press N, and you will get the install server. So what do you? Now let's get into how to use this to download the resources. Okay. So once you click on select, it opens up a web page. Opens up a web page with the entire map from proarchitecture.com, right? Prochitecture. All right. So the website is loading. So this website allows you to download. If you are unfamiliar with the of the location of the map or geolocation of the map, what you can do is you can go to the Arch satellite version, and then you can go to wherever in the world you want to download stuff context from. So let's just currently I am look for a site which is probably in, say, Mumbai. So right now this is the site map of Mumbai, and for the sake of download, let's just download this part of Mumbai. And to download the area of the map on the map, just select show rectangle. And what's up, Ritam? How are you doing, bro? Show rectangle, and we will download this part of Bombay. Obviously, this is a huge area, and you get even the airport, but I don't want the part of the airport. I will download this part of the map, which is important to me, and little bit of these context in terms of the development and the villages and stuff, villages or the buildings and everything like that. Okay, so let's just take this part, and here is the area size. You see, it's approximately 8 by 8 kilometer stretch that we are downloading, and this area 8 by 8 stretch kilometer is also downloading the context that we are at the bottom. So yeah, we'll be taking that into consideration. Try and download approximately, say, 5 kilometer by 5 kilometer should be good enough. But yeah, we will reduce this for now. We will reduce this and little bit of that, and adjust this to download this. This is what I'm interested in. Okay, these hills or whatever, they are available over here. This water body is available over here. This water body is available here, and these buildings and things and all is what I'm interested to download. So let's just copy that. Once it's copied, we will go back to Blender and we will paste the information that we had over here. We will click on paste, and the information will get downloaded right here. Right. So now the first thing to download is obviously a terrain. A terrain map is the undulations and the height of all the valleys and gorges, the site terrain map, which is got from the Google servers. Okay, so that is what we need to do, and we will select that. We will paste it, and we will say download or import the terrain map. It'll import the terrain map, and it'll show up like a terrain over here, which is in the scene collection window. Believe me, I am not a Blender expert. I don't know much about it. This is just for you to guys to understand how to use Blender with basic commands and how to go about using it. So once you've got the terrain, we will go to the we will go and press the dot button, which will allow us to zoom completely onto the terrain. Now you see there might be a clipping that is happening. No, lumberjack, guests have not gone. There might be a clipping that's happening. Basically, you're not seeing beyond a point of the terrain. So how do you fix that? We'll go to view. Will be the options on the side, which is the view options on the side, and then we will increase this number of end. So we will increase the number to about 10,000, and then you can see now that it's downloaded the entire terrain map from scratch. So which we can see, like, if you see from the top version, we can see that this is part of the map, which is the water body. This is the part of the map which is water body. These are certain hills, and this might be the location where the buildings might occur. So this is the terrain map which is downloaded. Seems like a pretty cool terrain. Now we need to download the next thing, is the map which goes on top of this terrain. Okay, so what we need to firstly download. So how do we do that? We need to go back to Blosm, which is in the link on the side. We click on Blosm, all right, and then we'll shift this thing from options from the terrain to image overlay. Once you go to image overlay, it shows overlay arc satellite. We will need to change this to a custom URL. You can use arc satellite, ArcGIS satellite, but according to what I have used, arc satellite is generally the terrain that we get on top, which is overlaid, is a pretty old terrain, 1980s map, not 1980s, 2000s map, 2200s map. So I wanted a fairly recent map which has a certain map data. So I would like to use custom URL. And how do you get this custom URL? Where do you get this custom URL from? So we go back to our website, which we downloaded Blosm from, right? We downloaded Blossom from here. We'll go back to the website, which is this website, the GitHub page, right? And then we will go down in their detailed documentation available here. Okay, we go to the detailed documentation available here, and over here you can see there is OpenStreetMap import from server, import from local file, terrain import, image overlay import, and custom URL. We go to the custom URL, and it will give you a URL template of symbols. This image overlay is typed based on custom URL. This is for the OpenStreetMap. This is for the for satellite imagery provided by Google, for standard map provided by Doodle, for terrain map provided by Doodle. We want satellite imagery from Google. So we will select this, and this will be your link for the terrain map. And we will copy this. Once we've copied it, we will go back to Blender and we will paste the overlay here, right? Control C to paste. And once it's pasted, we can click import. But before you click import, just see that the number of maximum tiles. The idea of these tiles is basically the image size that is going to be downloaded. This is the 4K image right now. If you see here, it clearly shows that this is a square texture of 4096 by 4096. Let's increase that to approximately 8K because we're downloading like almost a 5 kilometer radius map, and let's increase that to become 8K. So just click and drag on top of it. Okay, we click and drag so it becomes 8K. Yeah, so that's approximately 1080. This also works in some bytes situation. So it's 1080. If we type, we will get approximately an 8K resolution, which is 8448 by 8448. And then we click on import. So wait for it to open up and says preparing and downloading title image. So what it's doing is basically going to the server, going to the XY coordinates of that location and downloading that information for your terrain map, right? So let it finish and do its thing. Do not worry about such conflicts where your system might think it's crashing, but it's not. It's going to let it do its 783 this thing download of the tile images, and once it's done, then I will show you how to download the satellite map in terms of the buildings. In the meantime, then since it's downloading, let us also figure out how to download the plugin for D5 and Blender. So D5 render Blender plugin. So Blender to D5 real-time render workflow, download render D5, and we will go to workflow D5 for render. So we go to workflow for D5, and it says YouTube, click on download install plugin. So let's click to download, and it says D5 Blender USA latest. Save that and put it in the same. I put it in my learning series outside. I'll say save. I will also copy paste this and put it in our live streaming link that you guys can use it, right? The website, there you go. And now that we've downloaded it, let's open it and install the Blender plugin. Mind you, we'll have to restart Blender for this to work, but it's okay, no problem. We will restart the Blender once it's done. It's still downloading. As you can see, it's still downloading. So let it download. And we have deslicing for Blender. So many versions. We have 4.32. Does it not work on 4.32? All right, doesn't work. It doesn't work on 4.32. Okay, so there's no point installing this. Doesn't matter. We've got other methods to install the Blender plugin, right? So let it finish downloading the tile image, and then in the meantime, let's install 4.32. Actually, I won't need 4.32 because I will show you a method where you can export this tile image exactly how to be able to install on D5. In the meantime, since we are waiting, let's see what D5 has to offer in terms of the site context development within D5. Okay, so let's do that. The benefit of that is that D5 allows you to have a native install of D5 maps and data. So it helps us a lot in terms of uh, geolocation. So let's just check it out. 400 is already done. By the way, guys, if you have not seen this before, D5 is an awesome, 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 awesome rendering software right now. It really behaves very well with all the graphics cards that you have right now. It is a great workflow from any 3D modeler. So do check it out if you can, if you've not already done it before. All right, this is the interface of D5. It's very simple. We've got the environment settings on the side. We've got the environment settings on the side with the data. We've got the scene list, which is our the photographs that we click on the side. We've got the layers panel, which got all the layers at the bottom, and then the objects which we import from different places. So first of all, I'll delete the terrain layer, which we don't need, and then there is a small icon, a new icon, which is called the city or terrain. Let's go for the city. So it says that this is only a pro feature. Unluckily, I don't have the pro feature right now. So, but otherwise, what you could do is it'll open up a map. You can select the map, but mind you, the map is only supposed to be about 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer. So the selection that you do will only be for a 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer map. Once you select it, it will download the map and put it in. So this is for the people who do not want to buy the pro license for the D5, and you can use this method that I'm showing right now for you to install the site context, which is same as D5 for yourself. We are almost done. 730, 740, 783 is our final download title image. Let's go. Should take around half a second. All right, 783 almost done. It's going to compile all those tiles, merge it together, and give me a final image output on top of my terrain, which is what I've downloaded. All right, that is done, and now I can move around. You can see this is right now in the white mode. How do I fix that? How do I see and view my image on top of the terrain? So let's just go back. There's a small icon on the top. You see, there's this viewport shading icon. So let's click on that, and once I click on it, it'll showcase the shading mode. Don't mind me, my PC is a little noob. Just wait for it to come back because it's not a small image. It's like 844K. See, now it's downloaded the image on top of it, but it's too dark. So let's just add a light. Let's go to add light and the sun, and we've added a sunlight. And what we can do is after adding sunlight, we'll move it up a little. We'll say press G, and we'll move it on the Z axis. Press Z, and we'll push it up. All right. See, still seems a little too dark. So what we can do is we'll go to the side panel over here and we will click on the data button, which is the limelight button, and it shows up the sun properties. And in the sun properties, let increase the strength to around 4. You can see it's brightened up. Let's go back, and this is a brightened up image. The image is exactly sitting on top of the terrain, exactly how we want. There might be a few glitches here and there. We can fix that later. It won't matter. We can get that fixed later. You see this terrain with the trees and the pathways and the roads coming through and all of that. A beautiful map download, a beautiful situation in terms of downloading the map. Very nice. All right. How do we get this to a render software? And how do we download this in terms of being able to use it in a digital platform, right? For making our own renders and making our own data and things like that. So let's just download the last part of the game, last part of this series, this thing of the session, which is called the OpenStreetMap. From Blender, we would after we download the OpenStreetMap, we won't need to use Blender anymore. We can just export this information out and take it to D5 and do all our work there in terms of the next uh, so-called works that we need to do. So let's just download the OpenStreetMap. All you need to do is select the OpenStreetMap, go for it in terms of the terrain, select the terrain. You don't have to really bother about all these details. All you need to do is just click import and wait for it to download the entire information. Lishing, hello. Yes, I'm making new HOK map. How are you doing? No, I'm not making a new HOK map. I am showing how to make true life maps. So once the OpenStreetMaps downloads, you can see a lot of data coming up on top of it, like white boxes here and there, or not even white boxes, colored boxes here and there. And our scene collection also will get imported. So let it quickly import the data, and then we will get back. All right. So what you're seeing right now is the raw image data that is downloaded. Look at all that data. These are all buildings that are downloaded. This is the water map which is downloaded. This is the lot of stuff that is downloaded and lot of stuff that we need in terms of the hills and everything. We will replicate this and create renders out of this in terms of a high sort of city building development kind of situation. We will be rendering out data according to that. All this data is important data, but this is open source data. This is not data that if you need this, you particularly need this kind of information, you will have to sit and download and not download, you'll have to sit and manually draw cubes and fill it up and manually do all the drafting work and things like that. Suppose there's data missing here, this also needs to manually be done. There is little bit data available over here also. This is the same thing that the render in the city, this thing tab of D5 will give you. It did open something nice. Okay, so this works. You don't need to upgrade to Pro. Very nice, very nice. So I'll just typically get the small location that we were looking for over here. Let's just search for Mumbai, Mumbai City, and there we go. So this is Mumbai City, Navi Mumbai City. I think the map, if I'm not wrong, I've been trying to download is this data, is these two maps, and let's just it says I still have to upgrade to Pro to use this function. which I will not use. We will take this data, which is more flexible for us of editing and things and all, so that we can download and use this. So let's quickly just get this working. How do we get this working? What we need to do is basically convert these informations, which is on the right side. If you see this, these are all raw information which we have, which is the cycleway, the footway, the steps. These are all the roads and whatnot, and the cycleway and the pathways and everything is all over here. We need to convert that into, if you see, once I've selected it, you can see what all is selected. The roads are selected. So we need to convert all of this into meshes. And to do that, we need to go to Object, Convert, and Mesh. Once it does that, it changes the icon and it changes into a mesh. All right. And all we need to do after that is select all the meshes, select even the terrain mesh, and we can go to before we do that, I would like to also fix this mesh, which is the water mesh, right? To edit meshes, what you need to do is you need to press tab, okay? And then you will come to a position where you can edit the mesh. This is the mesh. And what I'll do is I will select the mesh and tab. We will go to the modifiers, and it is doing something called a shrink ramp modifier, okay? We need to enable that modifier and apply it. So we'll click apply. Once it's done, it will say Boolean and we'll click apply. It applies both the meshes, and then the undulation of the mesh should be prevalent on the this thing as well. So let's just come out, click, and see the mesh is pretty much straight and smooth. Even this mesh is pretty much straight and smooth and not undulated. So it's good to take to D5 now. So we'll select all of this, select the terrain, and file, export. We will do an FBX export, and we go to our folder where we're doing the Blender site context, and we will say we want the mesh, and we need selected objects, and forward is the Y and up is the Z. Let me zoom in and show you. Forward is the Y and up is the Z. The Z axis is on top and Y axis is the horizontal forward. It'll say apply unit, apply transform. I don't need any animation. I don't need any armature. And then we will say, for now, we will say, call this file Mumbai site context FBX. All right. We've got the Mumbai site context FBX, and we'll export it and let it export the FBX. It should show up here, file exported so and so amount. Once it does, we will take it to D5 and import this into D5. So let me repeat and tell you again, while doing this work, first you need to go and download the terrain. Then you need to download the image overlay. And then after that, you need to download the OpenStreetMap. If you don't do it in this format, you will have issues in terms of these buildings going below the earth's surface. You won't have the roads going below above this earth's surface. All those undulations will be really off. So that is something that you need to be taken care of. Follow this format for you to download the map correctly. All right. So I think it's already downloaded the map. So let's go and import. What you need to go is you're going to go to import. You're going to go to import, and we will go to this our series where we've downloaded the site context, and we've got the FBX file, and we'll say open. It will start downloading the FBX file at the bottom. You'll see 40% downloaded. Let it do its thing. It will download the file, and then we can use it to put it in the software. All right, we are back. So what you need to do now after you download the FBX file, we will right click and say place, and it'll say loading, and it'll place the file somewhere. Once you place the file, it says location XYZ. You need to change the location to 0, 0, 0, right? And press enter. Let's go back to the object, and now that it's installed, downloaded the location, here is the entire map for you to play with in D5. So why is the base map white? What we will do is we will change the base map to the actual context of the Google Earth. So we will press I, which is also a button over here, material picker. If you press I, the material picker is also available here. It gets highlighted. The shortcut is I. Basically, we click on the material. Once we go to the click the material, we go to base color map, and we will add a material. The material will be available in the same place where we downloaded the context from. Okay, let's just save the Blender file, save as. Learning series, Blosm site context, we'll say Mumbai blend. Save. Alright. If it does not save the file in Mumbai blend, so how do you get that image? So you need to go to your Blender file. What you need to do is click on the terrain map. You have a cross icon when you come to the edge over here. If you come to the edge over here, you'll have a cross icon. What you can do is you can split the tab by clicking and moving to the left. Once the tab is split, what you can do is go to the object mode, and you can go to, sorry, not the object mode, just next to the object mode, you have the UV editor. Once you come to the UV editor and you click on the terrain, you press tab to edit the terrain. It will open up and the map will be visible to you. You can then click on the image and say save as, and go to overlay.png. We will say take it as the not a black and white, RGB, color depth is so and so, compression has to be less. So we will reduce the compression as much as possible and give us the site over here. I'll say overlay.png, save as image. The image will get saved. What you can again do is push this, click on the icon, and then it converts into another thing. Click on the icon on the left side and then push. Oops. Arrow changes, and then yeah. All right. Now that's done. We've got only our image, and let's press tab again, and it's fine. Go back to D5, and then we've got the overlay.png, and we open it. It has applied the map on top of the Google Earth. Wow. Now you have the entire map of Mumbai on top of the map. What you can do is also change these materials. If I press escape, I go to assets. I will give it like a plastic. I'll say white plastic, or ordinary light plastic is also fine. I will just change the ordinary light plastic and give it an ordinary light plastic, ordinary light plastic. These, what we will do is we will add outdoor ground, or we will just give it other texture. We'll say outdoor ground, and we'll give it sort of like natural raw material. We'll give it like a grassland material or something, mossy woodland. We will add trees to this, and there we go. All right, we see that sort of pixelation happening. We'll click on it. We will say keep texture shape, and we will add 0.025 to the list and increase the size right now. Here you go, guys. This is the basics of how to install or download a terrain map into your DeFi file. What you can also do, take it one step further. You can add a water and go to, say, let's not do, okay, let's say dark green pool water. This is a pro feature. Let's not use any pro features. Let's go calm water dark green. Click on it and give this water. There we go. We've applied the water effect. All right. And let's add trees to the entire um, tree locations. So what we can do is we can add scatter. All right. We click on a scatter button and it shows me all the things that I can scatter. We will go to nature and we will go to low resolution and we will use two large trees that will help us do the scattering, right? So we will use something that is big size, which is polycinnamon, which is a pro version. We will say only free only. We'll tick on the filter and we go free only, and we will use the large tree, which is this and this. All right, we've got that. We will apply the material to this material and say paste. This is also green. We will apply it to this material as well, and there we go. We've applied trees, and there we go, guys. There you have it. Site context development from Blender to D5. Hope you guys had a good one. I will see you guys in the next one where we will develop more details and utilize this map for our working. Thank you. Bye bye.